What's up, everybody, and welcome to
The LittleBigKast.
We are 4, sometimes 5 players, friends, people working out the game life balance that we all find ourselves in. And after 2.5 years, we are finally back for a sort of reunion show / Where Are They Now VH1 era sort of throwback. Thank you for joining us. We're excited to be here, and let's just sort of jump into it. So first of all, I wanted to have a quick conversation. While we are a game life balance podcast, we start with game. So I'd love to hear, what is being played, what are people doing, what are the games that have us kind of thriving in the new reality that we find ourselves in with COVID-19, keeping us all home. Anybody that wants to go first is welcome to jump in.
The Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay.
Anyone? I've been living that. I've been living for that for, oh gosh, how long has it been? They announced it in 2015?
Yeah.
You guys recorded me seeing the announcement and just crying on screen.
It was a
E3,
long time.
right?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
The graphics are great, but the story is still the same.
It's one of those things. You can't make a game that you can't make a true remake. Hey, we just reskinned everything. Yay! Like Warcraft did. Oh, is it a Warcraft 3 Reforged?
I never even saw any pictures of that.
They just did a HD reskin of it, and it's pretty sad, actually. I thought they were going to actually put, work into it. I was wrong.
So what did they do with Final Fantasy VII? What did they change for that?
They did what you're kind of supposed to do with game remakes, is that you're supposed to have expanded moments in time. We had the Matrix franchise, and then we had the Matrix games inside of that, and they had these expanded moments in times and more information about these characters, and that's what made it work. And so they're trying to do that, but it feels more like a Final Fantasy VII game that has Final Fantasy VII Easter eggs in it. I remember that location. And yeah, that's the layout of the weapons area that was in the first one. But everything else is pretty different about it.
In a good way? Because here's the thing. So I haven't picked it up yet because, frankly, I was waiting to hear Robin's review.
Good call.
Yeah.
I have it, Jeff, so you don't have to.
Robin has written a PhD thesis on.
That was the master's thesis, and then the PhD was on indie games.
So I was like, it's worth waiting to give it a shot until I've at least heard your feedback, and because pretty much all that I've heard on the internet is, it seems generally like people love it, but the one kind of common theme throughout is that it's way hornier than it was the first time they played it.
Right, there's a lot more hinting at oh my gosh, this guy's totally hot. I'm pretty sure they couldn't have even made the claim oh my goodness, Cloud's hot claim because he was a friggin' polygon.
Right. He was 4 different angles the first time you played.
You still get that androgynous confusion from him.
Right.
I don't know, 10-year-old me was still pretty attracted to the polygons for some reason.
I was just oh, wow.
I mean, Lara Croft, when she was polygons.
Right?
Fair.
Triangle boobies.
No, with the Madonna boobs.
That's funny. So, Robin, then, does the game come with your recommendation?
I'd say pick it up.
Okay.
I'm not losing my mind over it. They've done a lot of different things, especially with the whole episodic aspect that they're going with. But the expanded moments in time are cool, and you get to see more of the characters' personalities. So I would say go for it.
Cool.
So there's my way extended.
I played the first level, escape from the power plant thing.
Mm-hmm, the macro reactor, yeah.
I was annoyed the whole time by the big guy with the machine gun arm.
Barrett.
He annoyed me in the first game too, though.
Oh my gosh, everyone is annoyed by that character because he's just so
racist,
over the top. Yeah, it's just there was an article that I read, and I quoted it in the thesis, and that's why I remember it, that said every word of dialogue that Barrett speaks sounds like it has been run through a broken Ebonics translator. That's how, not fitting with... Yeah.
And it's just so totally white guy doing black guy voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. So, Robin, anything else that you're playing?
Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay.
And I actually just got off the phone. Yeah. I just got off the phone for someone who needed a soundbite from me talking about Animal Crossing and how people are using it to combat isolation during the COVID-19 crisis.
Yeah, you can't find Switches now.
Yeah. They're price gouged for sure.
That's wild.
Except for the lights.
I don't mind the lights. I think
I have a light. I never plugged it into my TV, so it just made sense. But
yeah.
Well, on the topic of Animal Crossing, let's kick it over to Rachel, because I'm fairly confident I know at least one thing that she's playing. Rachel, what are you playing?
Kind of funny. Animal Crossing, I've been a diehard Animal Crossing fan since they came out. So, I don't know, it was kind of an experience, watching it come out and everyone kind of loving it, which was really weird because it was always one of my guilty pleasures. One of my, not in this scenario, but two truths, one lie game, one of my truths was always I put way more time into all of my Animal Crossing lives than I have probably in my real life.
That's Jeff's Destiny hours when it first came out.
Oh my gosh, right?
So, tons of Animal Crossing. It's so weird to have, friends that are actually playing it and being able to, play with them, because before it was only, there were only 2 people I could play with on the 3DS.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing the first time. Now it's there are people that I have played raids with in Destiny, and that, have thousands, they play, hardcore, just, they're adult men gamers, right? Shout out Cuddles. Shout out to Cuddles, shout out to Hollywood. Dudes that play freaking games that you would describe, that you would expect them, a 36, 40, 50-year-old man to play, right? But they're also playing Animal Crossing and loving it, and they're like, Hawks, you gotta get in on this, you gotta play this game, it's so good, it's so well put together. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know that I can do that.
Oh, you will. You start
so
playing
hard.
it, you stop playing it. I mean, I get on in the morning every hour. Every morning for at least an hour to take care of all my chores, turn up prices.
Yeah, I was super excited when that was announced to drop, and they pushed it back, which is fair. It's annoying, but I respect that. I'd rather have a full capable game than a half-ass game. So
you don't get a second impression.
Yeah, so that dropped on March 20th, and I've just been pretty much playing that. I had to make the decision to kick out my first animal yesterday. I've been very mean to someone, and I was filled with guilt all day yesterday because they're moving out. So I'm going through that moral.
I haven't done that.
I hate that.
Yeah, but Glenn, you wouldn't have any moral issues if you did. I'm just saying, you wouldn't have the same torment.
I don't
have morality, I guess.
I've been always they're all cute. They're all their own little animal, and they all have their niches. There's no bad ones, but I came to the decision that there are cuter creatures that can live on my island. So I got
this guy that's obsessed with working out, and he annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah, there's a few.
Oh, that one. Oh, with the CrossFitter.
Yeah.
CrossFitter archetype.
I haven't met him yet, but I know him in real life.
Oh yes.
Of course you do, because if that's who they are, they never let you not know who they are.
Right.
Yeah. It's like vegans.
So that's it.
Oh, see, I was just gonna say, has Has Drew gone to the vegan route now that he has moved?
We'll have to talk about that later.
And I was going to say, obviously not, because it's been like, what, 10 minutes and he hasn't told us about it yet.
Because if I had, you would know.
He is definitely a California boy, so now you can see it in the beautiful blonde beard.
Yeah.
And the shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We'll talk. Yeah, it's all good.
That might be the COVID beard, though, too.
No. This was a Christmas beard. It took me that long to get to this point.
It looks good.
It's very Guy Fawkes.
Thank you. I quite enjoy it.
Yes, quite.
So Drew,
I need you to do this, though.
Yeah, I can't get that. I can't quite get there. So I've been playing Animal Crossing. I held off for a couple of weeks, but I got it for my girls because they're getting done with schoolwork way earlier than I'm getting done with any work, and so they now are taking times on Animal Crossing. And we all live on the same island, which is strange but fun because you have one device, right? So they're kind of playing out with me, but since I'm the main person, I get to set some things up first. But they're enjoying that. The only other thing that I played tons of in the recent past, a while ago I was playing Skyrim. I just picked it up and I was like, I want a longer story. I want something to like move forward. And in the middle of that, I didn't get more than maybe 10 hours into that, and my Twitter feed was full of No Man's Sky pictures of people that I just followed that had a bunch of new No Man's Sky things. And I started it only took like 2 or 3 days, and I was like, oh. So then I jumped back in and put like another 50 or 60 hours in the course of 2 weeks.
So I saw you on playing a bunch of No Man's Sky, and so I was like, freak, dude. I've seen updates be mentioned too. I'll pick it up, and I bought it. And I've only put maybe 2 hours in, and I'm like, this guy moves so slowly, I can't handle it, and so I just haven't gone back.
But it's the craftiness of it, right? It's not like the run and gun. It's just kind of like the crafting, the building, the Minecraft. If you have a Minecraft setup and not a FPS,
I just feel like I need.
Enjoy it.
I'm less patient than I have been in the past, and so like if you're walking slowly, it's just not working for me. I'm like, you gotta move, dude.
You gotta buy.
Gotta jetpack.
You gotta buy the updates. You gotta buy updates to get the bigger pack, to jump farther, put the endurance into the run so you can run longer. Then you buy the ships, and now they just came out with a mech. You can climb into a mech suit and like.
Are these all microtransactions?
No, they're all just part of.
You earn it.
You earn it.
Like how it's supposed to be.
Making up for the terrible launch.
Did they ever
They've
fix
done it,
the multiplayer thing?
Yeah. Like you have a hub now where everybody can meet and talk, kind of like the old Destiny. What was that tower thing? Like you have a place where you can go anytime and check in with people and run little. They're not hardcore raids. They're like, hey, go do this errand, and we're looking for some diversity there. But it's fun. You could meet up with people. You can label animals and plant. No, but you can like go to a planet, claim it, design it, build stuff, and then send that coordinates out, and people can come and visit it and like connect that way. Like I'm enjoying it. Some guy his name is Ray, and he built an entire like speedway, the Raytona Speedway, so you can go grab your cars and go zipping around his speedway. So I mean that kind of stuff is happening, and I really love it. They have come they've come a long way. But that's what I've been doing a lot. Animal Crossing lately, and No Man's Sky before that.
Oh, BRB, I gotta let the psychopath in.
We've all got one.
So for me, so everybody knows that I play Destiny a lot. That's been since 2014.
No surprises.
That's been like the game.
Kind of just.
I've got to say, so just this may be newsworthy. Destiny 2 is boring the crap out of me. Like it's been. The truth is, it's been boring for a year, and I have kept playing it because I've had this fear. I've had FOMO, right? Like I've had this fear of missing out on something good and something cool. And with the latest season pass that just dropped, I played once, and I was like, I'm done. So I don't know when I'll go back to playing Destiny, but Destiny has felt like pulling teeth. Like every Thursday, I get together with some of the regular guys that I play with. Glenn's on occasionally, Cuddles, Hollywood, Danger. Like there are guys that I play with every Thursday, and really like that group is a big part of why I've continued to play over the last 6 months. because I just want to chill and hang out with them and goof around with them, right? But even over the last, I mean, really since the last season pass dropped, our Thursday nights have been dedicated to Borderlands or Division 2. So we're playing a lot of Borderlands 3, which has been really fun.
That is a very good decision.
I'm shocked, frankly, but wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been wild. And then I picked up and put probably 20 hours into Red Dead Redemption 2. But has anyone here finished Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yes, I need someone to talk about Red Dead Redemption with because
I stopped playing it. I got bored with it.
Really?
Just all the ride and horse stuff.
I kind of want
I picked it up. I had trouble with the controls. Like, the controls were a little bit odd to get used to for me. And also, like, I have a baby. That's a thing. I can't sit and like learn the new controls. Like, okay, make sure you're holding down R2 as you cycle through the menu wheel of weapons that you have. And I'm just like, I want to just give me a pointy clicky thing. I want to make things blow up. Okay.
Yeah, they definitely
go boom.
They made it complex for a reason, but that's like why I love it, is because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not simple. It's meant to be hard. So you can just randomly shoot people in a town because like that's what would happen IRL if you're just sticking around.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I've loved it. I mean, there are a million great things to say about the game. The one thing that I felt like it missed from Red Dead Redemption 1 was, like, in Red Dead 1, I remember having several moments where, like, the music and what I was doing keyed up in a way that just left me, like, in awe. Like, I'll never forget in Red Dead 1, like, the first time that you run your horse up onto this, there's, like, a railroad that you run up to, and Jose Gonzalez starts playing Far Away or Far From Home. I can't remember the song. But you hear the acoustic guitar start going, and then Jose Gonzalez is singing, and I was just like, holy cow, like, this is blowing my mind. Like, that moment is, like, etched in my mind from, like, video game history. Like, I love that moment. And I didn't feel like it had the same, like, cinematic moment in 2 for me.
They got cinematic mode, Jeff.
I know.
But it has to be organic. You can't
like,
just put yourself in cinematic mode.
Yeah, you just press the touch bar and I feel like they did drop the ball in the music. The music definitely wasn't as strong in the second one, but I felt like they made it up with the graphics and
graphically and from a storytelling perspective, I loved it. I thought they nailed it. I would just find myself, like, in fact, I put together a playlist in Spotify of a lot of the music that was from Red Dead 1, as well as the music from, if you ever saw the Brad Pitt movie, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, has incredible music in that film. And so I would use the Spotify app on the PS4, and I would play that music through the PS4 while I played Red Dead 2, and I, like, that kind of solved the problem for me.
That is dedication. I love it.
Yeah, it
made it so much better.
That is dedicated problem solving.
You know, we do what we got to do.
Yes, we do it well.
The game that has surprised me, that has, like, frankly, like, the shift that I've experienced over the last year with video games has surprised me and frustrated pretty much all of the people that I play with the exception of Glenn and my cousin Render, who plays pretty regularly with us too. I really like 2 battle royales, Apex Legends and of all things, Call of Duty Warzones. Like, those games are incredible, and I've just got to say that in particular, Warzones has felt like fresh and fun in a way that, like, a game just hasn't been fun and exciting and, like, zero stress in such a long time. Like, Destiny has felt like such a drag for the last year, that to play a game that feels fast-paced and fun and fresh literally has felt, I'm using the word fresh a lot, but it was like a breath of fresh air. Like, and it's a freaking Call of Duty game, right? Like, there's no reason that I should like this game.
It's like moving from Philadelphia to Beverly Hills.
It is fun as hell. And even like Glenn can attest to that. Like Glenn, I think you were reluctant to play initially, but
yeah, I've always had
time, right?
a bad taste in my mouth for Call of Duty because of the bro types playing, and then it's just so like uneven in the matchmaking that you just get slaughtered all the time. And that's how I felt playing with you guys on Destiny and Division. But this is just like it's equal. Like you just die, and it's fun, and there's no pressure. You can come back if you're playing Plunder.
Does it have like a zing to it?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It really is.
The cool thing about Warzone, so there's a couple of really cool things, and one thing in particular that I think is, frankly, like, for lack of a better word, is actually incredible. So Warzone has proven that you can have a game that is multi-platform. So PS4, Xbox, and PC all play together. The maps are enormous, like enormous. If you were to run from one end of the map to the other, you're looking at 20 minutes of just running across a map. It's enormous. And you play against 150 people. And so maps with 150 people, and it's cross-platform. And I've only had a handful of games that were glitchy or weird out of a couple hundred games. And so to me, what they have proven with this game is that is possible. Like, how long have we been talking about multiplayer games that go across platforms and open their player base to a broader community? Call of Duty just nailed it, like, perfectly, in a way that it sounds so stupid to say, but like it is like a joy to play that game. Like, it is just
a lot of fun.
It's fun, it's fast, it's exciting, and to get a win in that game, to beat 150 other people and get a win.
Have you done this?
It's like one of those like yeah moments where you're just so pumped. And if you play it in just the normal game audio mode, whenever you kill someone, if they're using game audio too, not in a party, you hear their reaction. No! They're like, ah, no! Like you hear the person you just killed screaming, pissed off, and it's so satisfying. I love it.
I as a terrible FPS person, got second place last week.
Really? I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
In solo mode.
I'm actually kind of intrigued as well.
That's why I don't play those things, because it's so outnumbered, and I don't play that. But
there's not the toxic like bro chat that you usually get from it.
Because it's not
10-year-olds like, I'm gonna go fuck your mom, and that kind of stuff. It's not. I don't know. But I'm always in parties, so I don't know.
So Glenn's playing Call of Duty with me, but what else are you playing, Glenn?
I am playing. I just picked up Borderlands again because you guys were playing it. I've been playing Outer Worlds, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I heard good things about that.
I started Final Fantasy VII, but I've never been a huge fan of the franchise, so I'm just going to take it piece by piece. So,
yeah, I haven't been going very fast in it either, so don't think that I'm like, oh yes, I'm almost done with it. No,
I did Platinum Assassin's Creed Odyssey, though, with 180 hours.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of time.
I was gonna ask. So PlayStation's having that huge spring sale, and I picked up Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I picked up their 3-pack, and there was.
I loved Odyssey.
I think Colosseum.
Odyssey's almost as fun as Black Flag was.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, I just picked
really
this up.
Enjoyed it.
I saw that.
Wait, which one's the Egypt one? Origins was the Egypt one. Oh my gosh, I love.
Which one's better?
That one was a good one.
Somebody
but
tell
it's
me which
not.
one to get.
But Odyssey is so much better.
Yeah. So
especially it throws in the mythology of things as well, which is a lot of fun.
So Origins, I felt like, was the first real step to feeling like it was like an actual RPG, and I think Odyssey takes it a step further, but also refines those systems as well in a way that is really cool. I loved Odyssey. Like, really, really fun story. I think you'll love it, Rachel.
The DLC's great too.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and the controls are still.
DLC adds another 30 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, so we don't have a news segment in today's show, but I did want to say something. about one of the things that has really frustrated me with this COVID situation. So as you know, anybody that's listening right now knows the world is in a weird place. And I've just got to say, the fact that we didn't get Cyberpunk 2077 delivered in the middle of this, delayed to September, I would, can you imagine having just all the time that COVID has given us to be playing a new CD Projekt Red game in a cyberpunk universe? Holy freaking hell. Like, that is, I so badly and desperately want that right now. Just a place to go escape to, and like a Witcher level depth RPG in a cyberpunk future sounds so freaking awesome. I'm so bummed. And Last of Us 2. Like,
I was so looking forward to do the replay and then that at the same time.
We may still be in lockdown in September. Like, it may still be your dream.
Right?
Yeah, we might be in lockdown in September when Cyberpunk comes out, but we don't know when the last.
I'm renting from Rachel.
They delayed it indefinitely, and frankly, it wouldn't actually surprise me if what they've done is they were like, "Listen, this is going to affect physical sales. It's going to be really challenging for us to get physical sales, so we're going to push it out until the launch of the PS5."
Possibly.
What's the percentage of physical sales to online sales now?
I think they'll use it as a hook to get people to pre-order and buy the PS5 and be like, listen, if you're going to experience The Last of Us 2, you need to do it on the 5.
For sure.
That's I kind of figured it was going to be a PS5
but
release.
The Last of Us 2
need to be
fans will buy both copies anyway, right?
Right. Like, I remember I did when it was the PS3, PS4 jump. I wound up buying both copies anyway because I was stupid, and it's just like,
physical,
I just want to
which
see it
I think Drew still has, and then I bought digital as well.
Yeah, see, I bought it for the PS4 and had every intention of playing it, and then I queued it up, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember how damaged I felt after I played this game. Like, I'm happy with it having my money, but I'm not playing through this game again, and I just didn't play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the news I wanted to gripe about because the delay, like, it feels like there's such an opportunity right now to, like, and we know The Last of Us 2 is a completed game. Like, it's done. It was ready to ship. Neil Druckmann, the game director, said the game was done and that this decision was out of his control. And I'm just like, if there was ever a time where people are like pining and like begging for a game, dude, you got to do it. But I'm sure that, organizations like GameStop and Walmart and Target were like, listen, like, this is going to be a $1 billion game. Like,
they're the ones holding
you're
the
a fool
contract.
if you sell it digitally. Yeah, and there's a lot of money for them to make.
What if there was like another side to this too? That's like not just the economic side, but maybe they're worried that The Last of Us being like zombie-driven, like survival, would like spark some sort of like
PR problem.
Yeah. So the rest, like, we're all like
everyone's like super paranoid.
Yes,
it's the same. It'd probably be the same population that think the cell towers are giving us the plague. So I don't think it'd be a huge population, just the loud population.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
All the Karens. All the Karens in the world.
Yeah. Anyways, that's the... let's see here. It looks like that's our wrap-up of, like, what we're playing.
And our commentary.
Okay, so next thing we wanted to get into, Drew is going to actually host a fun little game of Two Truths and a Lie.
Yeah.
So Drew, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Let's do it. I think what would be fun for this, pull it up. We kind of know the answers, obviously, but for those of you listening, we're going to give you 2 truths and a lie because it's been nearly 3 years. Our last show was June, I believe we released it June 12th of 2017, and so we're within like 60 days of being 3 years. So I thought, what a fun thing to do, to kind of do a 2 truths and a lie, where each of us just share our 3 things, and let the audience kind of simmer on them for a minute of what possibly could have changed, because a lot has changed in the world since we all like finished episode 129. A lot of things. In fact, I made a short list. You guys contributed to this list, but just to name a couple of things, I'll run through these. The Tide Pod Challenge, the whole Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. I remember watching that, felt like forever ago, and I'm bummed that we're not doing Olympics this summer. Like, that's crushed That's crushed me.
Women won World Cup.
Yes, women won the
Right.
World Cup. Apparently, I didn't even realize this was a big thing. If we would have been doing a show, I'm sure we would have heard about it. But they released red-headed emojis sometime
Yes.
a couple years ago. We would have talked about that. We would have talked about that. It was a big deal. Do you remember the Yanni versus Laurel audio clip?
Yes. Oh,
That's
wait a minute. Did we? We were after.
we had our
That was.
show.
It
had
wasn't
finished.
the blue versus yellow dress.
Right.
That was for the first iteration of that, but it was the
The
ambiguous sound
yes,
one.
yes, and it came after our last show. Toys R Us shut down. TikTok came out. Cats the movie was pretty recent, but kind of a crazy moment.
So
You
weird.
watched the butthole version.
The D&D comeback. Like I've seen that resurgence in the last couple of years, which has been kind of
I'm
cool.
playing a couple games right
Are you
now
really?
virtually like this. Yeah.
That's very cool. And then this last one somebody put in there, subscription model has taken over the world, which to me is a joy to finally see things like Patreon and subscription models like working for people. That's amazing to me. So those are some of the things that have changed. So let's jump to let's just go down the list.
Hang on, I think Rachel, are you playing a D&D game as well?
I started to. Yeah, I've started a couple of D&D games. Like, that's why I brought it up. I don't know. I feel like it was Stranger Things that, like, blew it up.
Yep.
Maybe it's just because I wasn't
That's a really good point.
I wasn't in the loop, but I feel like after Stranger Things came out, like people who I never thought would be playing D&D were like inviting me to
Yeah.
games, and I was like, oh,
I was actively searching for games. I don't know, last year,
Looking for the
and then
Stranger Things.
because I never played growing up. So
Season 2 came out in that fall of 2017, like August. So it was after our last episode. Wow, what a change! So let's do this for game style. Let's do this. We'll each take we'll say our three things, and we'll just go through our list of three things, and then we'll revisit and we can talk about a little bit of like each of the three things. So this is more like your like statement version, and this way the players at home can kind of listen to each of our three things, think about it on themselves, and then hear the next person's three things before we actually come back and like reveal. So let's do. I'll start with Jeff. Let's just take it from the show notes down the list, Jeff.
All right. Sold our first family home and moved from a home with a yard into a basement.
It's number one.
That's number one. Number two, you may be able to tell that I've put on a few pounds, so I started training for a triathlon to try and get myself back in shape. And the third one is that, in contrast to everyone else pretty much in the world, when you first said D&D, I thought of the writers of Game of Thrones because I actually loved the last season. I thought it was great. While it wasn't perfect, I thought it went out with a bang, and frankly, like, I loved that Bran was king. Spoiler alert, and that that the story was told the way that it was.
that was lazy.
Okay, so Robin.
Lazy.
Robin Stern, hit us your three.
Let's see. I want to make sure that my ones coincide with what I've already said. So my number one is I moved into my husband's house, so I no longer have my home
It's
anymore.
weird to hear.
You
I know.
also got a
Weird.
husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also got a husband.
Yeah, I think that's
Like
real.
the actual the diamond one is in the gun safe just to keep it safe with all the guns in the
And then
safe.
you have a husband with guns.
Husband with guns. And tasers too. It's been fun.
180.
Let's see. I went to Mexico, and my third one is I named my son after a saint intentionally.
On purpose. Excellent. All right, Rachel's up.
all right. So I have, I went back to college, I bought a house, and I started rock climbing. Very simple.
Very simple. Those are things. Okay, my three. Here are my three. I moved into a $1 million house near the beach. It's number one. Number two, I added a baby boy to my family, to my three girls that were already grown and raised. And number three, I opened a wildly successful Etsy shop with all my crafting prowess. Okay, that makes it Glenn's turn.
Well, I was an alternate on Master Chef. I bought a snow bike earlier this winter. And in 24 hours, I went from a view of the Moai on Rapa Nui, which is Easter Island, to $1 million yacht in the British Virgin Islands.
If that one's true, Glenn's living the best life in this chat.
Right.
All right. Let's revisit now. Let's start again with Jeff. Tell us
Glenn's
a little bit
always
about...
living the best life.
It's true, right? Jet setter. We'll start with Jeff. Run down your 3, and then give us a small bit about each one, and then tell us which one is your lie. And those of you playing at home, hopefully you've thought about long and hard. What could we possibly have been up to for the last 3 years? All right, Jeff.
Sold our first family house and moved into a basement with a going from a home in Ogden that we loved with a backyard. We just decided that wasn't for us with 2 kids. Decided to cram everyone into a basement with very little windows and, just kind of a dungeon setting. That was just kind of what we were looking for. Started training for a triathlon. I have a very good friend down in Florida that hurt his back a couple years ago, and I was telling him that, I was frustrated because I wanted to get back in shape, but I hurt my back. I think, for sure we talked about that on the podcast because it was like 6 years ago that I hurt myself. But I just hadn't found anything that was low impact enough, but also effective enough to help. So he's been doing triathlons. He's like 6'6", and when he started, he weighed like 320 pounds, and he's still 6'6", but he weighs like 220 and is like just. So he got me on a program that was awesome. And the last was that I loved the ending of Game of Thrones. I thought it wrapped up, the preceding 8 seasons very, very well, and tied all those loose ends together.
Yeah, I know.
Those are my truths and a lie.
Which one's the lie then?
I'll bet everyone can guess the lie.
I think we can guess the lie.
Is it the ending of Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Say it. Oh, thank you,
Here's
Jesus.
what's funny.
Thank you.
Let me just say this. We are living in a time where everyone is locked in their house watching TV, and no one is rewatching Game of Thrones. Think about that.
Yeah.
They had arguably 6 or 7 really stellar seasons, arguably the best series, like television series of all time. Like season after season, that's what people thought. Like they freaked out about how good Game of Thrones was, and no one
had Game of Thrones watch parties.
Yeah, no one's watching Game of Thrones while you're locked in your house and can't go anywhere. They're rewatching Friends rather than Game of Thrones.
And The Office.
That's how bad the writers
that's
just
fair.
utterly dropped the
They
ball.
just bombed it.
That's fair.
Tiger King is better writing.
Oh, wow. All right, Robin, hit your 2 and tell us which one is the real one.
Okay, telling more. Moved into my husband's house. I no longer have my house. I have a husband. And
what happened to your mom? Can I ask that question?
Oh, she has a little apartment.
Oh, okay.
It's super cute.
Still in Utah?
Still in Utah, just a little ways away.
Awesome.
Okay. So, went to Mexico.
Mexico. She's from Spain.
I went on a cruise because my husband is a cruise junkie, and we just cruised down the Riviera from Long Beach and then circled back and went back to Long Beach, where we picked up, this is my 3rd one, where we picked up Thomas, and we named him after Thomas Aquinas, who is the patron saint of academics.
What do you mean picked him up?
Picked him up where he was staying with his grandparents.
Ah.
They nabbed him from a supermarket.
Yeah, they have like a little kind of, it's like a childcare / doggy
I didn't
daycare kind
realize
of
this
thing.
was after
And,
Thomas was born. I was having a
oh
very
yes,
confusing moment. I was like,
oh yes.
pick him up.
Pat-
Is that how you say delivered? Like I'm very
I picked
confused
up.
by what is happening right now.
just picked mom. No, no.
Weird.
Went to Mexico like just a few months ago,
Awesome.
and then named Thomas after Thomas Aquinas.
Love it.
Excellent.
So those are my three.
Fantastic. All right, Rachel.
Wait, which ones did I lie?
Oh, which one you lie? I think the Mexico was the lie, is my guess
I think
in
Mexico,
that story.
too.
I'm
It's a technicality.
I'm trying to decide if you named your son after a saint.
I did not move into my husband's house. He moved
Huh?
into mine.
Although your
Uh,
husband's very Catholic, right? So I would have
Yes,
gone with.
yes. And we did. I named Thomas after Thomas Aquinas because my husband is also an academic like me. We work in the same department. And so we were thinking, okay, what are some good names? Like, he didn't have a first name until like a day and a half after he was born. We knew that his middle name would be Julian after the family name, but we were like, what do we name this child? Like, when we see him, we'll know it. We were going between like Michael and Adam, and then he was born. It's like, that's not a Michael or an Adam. So
I was very tempted to name our son Arrow Tommy so that we could call him Tommy Hawks.
I would have.
I
I would have thought
call
if you went with the saint, it would have been like the name of like the movie The Saint. That guy, I forgot
right,
his name.
right.
Like a comic book character or something.
Yeah, well, usually there's like three reasons why I'll name someone, something, or something. And it was the Thomas Aquinas, and then the Peaky Blinders.
Nice.
What
And
a freaking awesome
yeah.
show,
Yeah,
by the way.
I know.
Still
And Tommy Shelby, and Man in the High Castle.
I dig it. Those are great reasons.
Fantastic. All right, Rachel, give us your three.
Well, so my three went back to college, got let go from one of my jobs, and naturally, what do people do in that situation? They go back to school and get more degrees.
And better financial aid packages. Way better.
That's true. That is true. Bought a house with all my tons of disposable income and needed a way to stay super small and fit. So I started rock climbing. So went back to college, bought a house, started rock climbing.
I call the lie. I'm not sure, but
I know you bought a house.
I'm going to call the lie back to college. Only
yeah,
because
back to college.
That's what I think too.
I recall being in college with you.
I remember graduating her. Yes.
And how
She's like, I'm never going back again.
Yeah, exactly. That was like the vow.
Yes.
Looked over my desk and said, never again. Yeah, no, I'm not. I haven't gone back to college yet. I haven't hit that point. I almost did. I did really lose my job, and I was like, do I need to go back to school because I don't know what to do with my life? But I didn't end up following that path, so I don't know. Maybe we'll get there one day.
You've got a house. I mean, what more could you want?
I know, I'm already in debt with the house. I don't want to be more in debt.
Yeah, it never ends.
I don't want to be more in debt.
Never ends. Awesome. Okay, so I'll take my three. I moved into $1 million house near the beach, which is really nice. It's got a backyard. We could drive 5 minutes and be hanging out on the beach whenever we want. Started doing a little bit of surfing and bodyboarding. Even got myself a full wetsuit. Like I'm pretty hip now. I added a baby boy to the family after having 3 girls. I figured, wow, my youngest is 8. This will be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and throw a boy in the mix because I haven't figured that part out yet. So that was easy. And then since we've had a lot of time, I had a lot of extra time with the baby boy. I bought a Cricut maker and I've started crafting things for Etsy. And I've got a shop that just sells the weirdest little like earrings and little bits and pieces, and they just are flying out the door. I spend my nights crafting little faux leather earrings now. So that's what I'm up to, guys.
The lie is Etsy. I believe it's one of your daughter's stores.
I have to agree with that.
This is what you guys think?
I have a question about your baby boy, though. When we were teenagers, your mom gave us a lecture on using prophylactics. That was her word.
Yes, I'm sure she would give us the same.
So as adults that are done having children, prophylactics.
It's true. So yes, I do have a small baby boy. It was a shocker. So whatever happened, and here we are now with a 2-month-old baby boy. We were debating names because we really liked the name Graham, but we couldn't tie it to anything more than King's Quest, the video game. King Graham was like Graham.
Graham Norton.
Yeah, graham crackers,
Graham.
s'mores.
Graham, yeah. So that was like the only tie-in, and of course, in graham crackers. So he was a contender for a long time. My youngest, soon to be 9-year-old, she wanted to name him Jarlick, spelled like garlic, but with a soft G, Jarlick. So that we joke about Jarlick all the time, but we settled on Jackson. So
what about Windowlick?
Yeah. So we have little Jackson. He's the cutest little guy. And yeah, I had no plans to like go back into diapers in school and stuff, but here we are. This is shaking things up a bit.
Surprise.
So. Yeah,
That's
surprise.
awesome.
But it's super fun.
It's a great surprise.
Yeah, it's super fun, and he's the cutest kid, and I can't imagine life without him now. The girls are so in love with him. They always are so helpful, so that's fantastic. And then moving into $1 million house is true. However, being that close to a beach, $1 million house is the same as like a 1960s house in Utah with like 2 bedrooms. Like it's not.
Yeah, it's California.
It's not $1 million house. But we moved out here for a new job. I got a new job and moved to work for a large social media company. It's proven to be difficult and challenging, but also has lots of rewards and has been kind of a great career shake-up. It's kind of fun. So I'm out in LA now doing cool things. So if anybody's in LA, come see me.
As long as it's enriching.
It is. I'll go back to teaching someday. I really will. I miss that tremendously. And so who knows, a couple of years of this, and then when the debts are all paid off.
He's shaping minds of the world right now.
I do have a lot of reach. Anyway, those are my things. All right, Glenn, take us home.
So what was your lie?
So the lie is the Etsy shop. Yes, you're right. You guys all guessed.
Did that come from?
Your girls are smart. Your girls are smart enough to monetize that stuff.
Are they actually doing that?
My oldest is creating earrings and selling them at school. My middle is selling bracelets. When we had school, right, they would take them and hawk them.
Good girls.
So we've got to move it. We've got to move it online, but it's super fun to make things. I love crafting
Sam is
things.
so money minded.
I have so much fun.
So be wealthy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So those are my lies. All right, Glenn.
All right. So I was pretty sure I did this after.
It was.
It was okay. So I was an alternate on MasterChef. So I went and auditioned, got a call, and then told I was an alternate, and then I had to go through work and get a bunch of leaves approved. I would have had been out of work for 2 months.
Ooh,
The show would give you a stipend. It was like $3,000 a month or something, which wasn't enough. But anyway, what else? And they just never called me to be on the show, which I think would have been a lot of fun. But I don't think I would have made it very far because I'm terrible at time management. I bought a snow bike called Snow Go. It's a brand new sport this year up at Brighton. And in 24 hours, this fall, in 24 hours, I went from Easter Island to $1 million boat in the British Virgin Islands.
Whew, that's tough. But I think I want to believe that you did the island hop thing, and the boat sounds like amazing. So I want to believe that one.
And I'm pretty sure that you bought a snow bike, but I know that you tried out for MasterChef, but I can't remember if you said you were an alternate or if you were like a finalist to be an alternate. But I also feel like I remember seeing pictures of you hopping all over the Caribbean.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with you are not 100% truthful on the locations that you went or the time that it took you to get there.
Too specific.
A technicality, rather.
All right, Glenn, what is it?
Well, I rented a snow bike. I didn't.
Dang it!
Garage sale.
Oh, that's funny.
Wow.
So the Snow Go is actually pretty cool. I have plans on buying it. I don't know if you guys see that. That's what it looks like.
Oh, wow.
And it's super cool. And that was me on it.
Look at you.
But I rented it.
Looks like a walker. It looks like an old lady walker.
I did go from Easter Island to British Virgin Islands on our big catamaran, which was actually $1 million boat. It was like $1,020,000 or something that it cost the original owners, but we rented it.
Wow.
And I did that in 24 hours. I went from Easter Island to Santiago to Atlanta to the British Virgin Islands. And then I was on our boat, and it was in 24 hours of my life.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So, and then alternate on MasterChef was true. I actually had to go through a bunch of hoops to get approved at Delta, but I didn't get called. How rude.
Boo.
Dang it. All right, Jeff.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to bring it home and wrap it up. We're coming up on the hour, and both Rachel and I have work responsibilities that we have to jump into. I don't know if the rest of you guys want to hang out afterwards, but the reality is, as a group, like we wanted to get together and just update everyone on sort of where we're at, and we never even got an opportunity to be like, hey, we're going on hiatus for a minute, and so we are still working out what sort of the future of LittleBigKast looks like. We're having those conversations and seeing what's possible and what we have the time to be able to do. But I don't know. As always, my name is Jeff Hawks. You can follow me on Twitter or wherever. But I just am so thrilled to be able to be with these 4 people again, and to be able to catch up and catch you guys up with sort of where we're at. So that's me signing off. Do you want to do a quick roundtable while we've got 2 minutes?
Sure. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Drew Tyler at Night 20 on the socials, and yeah, we're going to figure this out.
Yeah, and I'm Rachel Hernandez. Pirate Rachel with a 3 instead of an E for the pirate. And, yeah.
We're rusty.
But I'm Robin Hazlett. Of course, we're always rusty. Come on. Robin Hazlett. You can follow me on the socials at Robin Hazlett because I'm just that creative about my name. And on PlayStation, you can find me at Lil352, LIL 352.
I missed that.
I'm Glenn. You can find me at GWiggums on the social. GWiggum on the socials. And Shay Wags now on since I got to change names.
Got that fancy update.
Yeah. Also, I didn't make a dirty joke this whole time.
We've all
Maybe. I don't know.
Many years.
Believe that completely.
I feel like there was one thing that was said that I was like, I thought we were not.
I think you got one.
Who
I may have
knows?
said a swear word.
But
But I didn't make a dirty joke.
I have to jump off, but it was awesome to see everybody here. If you're listening, thank you for listening. We've missed you, and I'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks for listening.